This is AJ.
And this is Matt.
From the Dangerous Summer with Idobi Radio presents Hallelujah, I'm Alive with the Dangerous Summer. Only on Idobi Radio. Okay, so we're talking about the EP. So we just recorded and released All That Is Left of the Blue Sky, an album that means the world to us. And it's kind of crazy how this one went about, you know? Like, especially Matt was moving to Denver. Mm-hmm. Why don't you explain that? You drove out.
So, yeah, I was still living in Nashville at the time before I moved to Denver, but I was moving the next week after we wrote. So I drove from Nashville to Richmond to AJ's house, and he has a studio set up there. And we wrote, the second we got there, we started writing. We wrote all night. And we kept doing that over and over again for like the entire week, basically, like 4 or 5 days. And pretty much hashed out like almost the entire EP in that one trip.
Yeah, it was like inspiration was flying. I mean, we were staying up till 3 a.m. shooting off ideas, and man, it was a long one. And then so is the EP developed? You know, Ben played on Fuck Them All, and then we were just kind of looking for more. We ended up with Aaron Gillespie on the rest, and I think what people don't realize about this EP is, this was done all through COVID. This was done all through the shit. We were in lockdown. We didn't even get in the studio with Aaron. I mean, he was sending in his drums back and forth. We were FaceTiming him, saying what's up, and it was crazy. We fought a lot of adversity to get to where we are now with this record, and now that it's finally out, it feels so good. And all right, so Fuck Them All. Actually, so Matt came out to LA. We just pulled up these pieces, we've been writing a lot with splice loops. Actually, the drum is a Travis Barker drum loop that we were playing with, and another kind of like the siren-y sound is also a loop. Mm-hmm. And we smashed them together, and then progression thrown on top, and that was it. Kaboom! That was kind of Fuck Them All. And it sat on our computer for a little bit, and then I pulled it up and threw lyrics on, and it was kind of magic. Like, it came together. It was kind of meant to happen, and it came out of nowhere, And I think lyrically, we were in a place where we were leaving Hopeless Records. Our contract was up with Hopeless Records, and we were actually on the phone with labels and all these people, like, talking about stuff. And I think maybe I just got this energy, like, fuck them all, like, fuck the oppressors, fuck the people in your life that kind of hold you down, the people that I don't know, the people that stand in the way of being yourself. And so the song is, somewhat about the music industry, somewhat about the world in general. I remember having these thoughts about, people are actually talking online about the lyrics. They're like, what does that mean? And like with the, with diamonds in our hands, we fell into outer space, I don't know, I was talking about how, like, kind of absurd the world is, how absurd, like, we worship these diamonds, and we fucking are launching ourselves in outer space, but somehow religion ruins all that, it's kind of anti-progress in a lot of ways. And just kind of like these ideas of the world, like, the world is so in the way of itself. There's so many people that hold each other back. And record labels being one of them.
Oh, yeah.
Anyone that kind of holds you back, and this was our anthem to say, hey, we're standing on our own, and fuck them all. So check out the track. This is Fuck Them All, and we are Dangerous Summer.
nothing's standing here in my way. Fuck them all. They want me like a light bulb, burn out with the sun, swept under the rug again. I understand now that this is my moment. Yeah, nothing's standing here in my way. Yeah, nothing's standing here in my way. Yeah, nothing's standing here in my way.
All right, so track 2. So track 2, Come Down. And that was one of the coolest ones, I think. That's Come Down's like one of my favorite songs I've ever written in my whole career. And Matt with the piano riff, like a very signature piano riff. And you kind of sent that to me like beforehand, before you came through to Richmond. And I started writing to it, and then I remember like we were, tripping out that one night, and it's just like we kept listening. I was like, holy shit, like this is good.
Yeah.
It like took me like a second to like sink in there and be like, wow, this is amazing. And then the next day we, hashed out the rest of the song, and all these songs came together so quick. But yeah, what do you think about that track? Yeah.
I'm always like trying to figure out like different vibes to throw at AJ just to see if he likes stuff. And I know that like something that we really hadn't done before was a ballad. And so I was like, how can I get a ballad across? So I tried like 3 or 4 different piano parts, some acoustic stuff and all that. Nothing was sticking until Come Down. Yeah. And then once he heard that and he started writing with it, then it's like, it came to life. And then it was one of those songs too, which is a fun experiment of like, how can we not put too much musicality in this song?
Exactly.
Like, keep it simple, so everything is focused on the lyrics and simple guitar parts. The build at the end and everything, and then Aaron crushed it on that song. Yeah.
Originally, actually, the song did not have drums, and we loved it without drums too. And we even talked about releasing a version of that, Come Down without anything. But it originally didn't have drums, like very super soft ballad, and I don't know, that one came together really cool. Definitely one of my favorite. It is. People keep quoting me, and I said on Twitter, like, man, I would have bet the house on Come Down. I thought that was going to be the big track.
Yeah, same.
Big track on the album. I thought that was just like, it reminds me a lot of like, Coldplay, like Fix You type vibes, and just epic ballad. Like, we love the epic, we fight for those emotions, this epic ballady, beautiful emotions. It's got a really cool progression and everything. And then lyric-wise, that song's about... I think it has so many layers to it. And lyrically, it's just kind of like, it's so hard to come down off anything, even back off tour, back into reality.
Yep.
It's so hard to come down, it's so hard to, get yourself back. And I remember going through some relationship issues and, just kind of... It's kind of like, hey, we can work this out. I'm sorry that, I'm so up in the clouds, It's so hard for me sometimes to get back to reality, so. And definitely when we were tripping, man, it's so hard to come down.
Oh, yeah.
It really is. So, so here is Come Down on Idobi Radio.
Dying on the lawn, I think I lost control in my brain. And you were crying on the phone. And yeah, I know it's work, but we can make it better. You're settling the cuts so we can see the world. Yeah, we can find the summer. But it's so hard to come down. Yeah, it's so hard to come down. Anyway, Lost you in the dawn of my haze. I was dying on my own. I'm lucky that you stand in my way. Don't untie me anymore. And yeah, I know it hurts. I'll try to make it better. I'm sorry that I fought with everything in love. So need to find my center. But it's so hard to come down. Yeah, it's so hard to come down. Yeah, it's so hard to come down. Yeah, it's so hard to come down. Anyway. But it's so hard to come down. Yeah, it's so hard to come down. Yeah, it's so hard to come down. Yeah, it's so hard to come down. Anyway.
So recording process, yeah. I mean, basically, like, we do really good demos ourselves, and that's what becomes half the problem, is we make these really fucking cool demos, and then we try to bring it to, you know, our producer friends. Like Paul Levitt actually stepped up on this one, and we actually tried to do it with Sam Pura at one point, and it just didn't work out, you know, with timing and everything. So we were bringing it to these people, and we were like, you know, like, we're recording this shit. Like, could we just kind of elevate these recordings so that we can release them? Like Matt's really good at mixing. You know, we got nice equipment. Like and we kind of have our own vibe of how we want things to sound, and so we made these beautiful demos. And how do you turn them into real life? So we tried to originally. Yeah, to send Paul Levitt stuff, and he elevated it. And then turns out, like, by chance, literally a block away from me, Paul Levitt's old intern, Will Beasley, he's right down the street in Richmond. Paul said, go in with Will, he's really good, he's going to smash these tracks out for you. So we booked a week with Will Beasley, and it's kind of like, yeah, every day we like just pull up the song, because these songs were done, and a lot of the tracks from the demo ended up in the reel.
Yeah.
A lot of guitars and a lot of stuff. So
yeah, they sound pretty similar to the demos.
Exactly. Yeah.
We always try to do that with every album. To be honest, the last like 3 in a row have all sounded just like the demos. So.
Yeah, because I mean, I don't know. We're just very, I don't know, we're very in it, and we kind of know what we want. We kind of know what we love. So we went with Will, and, you know, some songs we actually ended up changing a good amount, but they always ended up structurally about the same as the demo. And, yeah, we were in there for a week with him, and he's a really fucking good producer. Super talented guitarist.
Bass player.
Yeah, bass player and shit. So we just smashed that shit out, man. And it didn't take long at all. Yeah, it was like 1 week in there. I think what took forever after we left the studio was Paul Levitt mixing. Shout out to Paul Levitt. Hey, we love you. Really good mixer, but you're very slow, you motherfucker. But And that's also one of the reasons why the EP got kind of pushed back. We kept changing stuff, and Paul was kind of taking his time, which I appreciate, because I mean, Paul Levitt, I think, did one of the best mixes of his whole career.
Yeah.
I think, you know, especially songs like "Come Down" and, you know, "Lie to Me." Like,
yeah, even "Fuck Them All" too.
Yeah, "Fuck Them All." Like,
perfect.
yeah, he's really, really good, and so yeah, we waited for those, and it was amazing. And then so working with Aaron Gillespie, so originally, actually, so with Aaron Gillespie, I started talking to him a little bit and started writing some music with him. And he was basically like, hey, I'm down to do whatever, I'm down to write some songs. And he actually had sent me track 6 on that album, Come Along. He just recorded all of the parts, you know, he had a whole instrumental for this song, and I recorded top line over it. And then I think it became more clear that he could do that type of track. And we didn't even know if that was going to be a Dangerous Summer song. It ended up becoming a Dangerous Summer song at the end of it. But I think we started writing together, and we were like, you know, he's got a studio, he's ready to do it, and he's eager. Like, we sent him a song, and he would just get behind the drum kit, spend the whole day working on drums, the whole day smashing out his parts. So he was an incredible person to work with, and I think he's an amazing drummer, but he's an amazing songwriter.
Yeah.
And so he plays to the song. He really thinks about, you know, the elements. We talk a lot about structures and what's going into it. So the only weird part is that, yeah, we weren't in person with him. We weren't in the studio. So he would send some parts, and we'd send him some notes, and he would go back and do it again. And, you know, we'd just go back and forth until it worked. Because, again, this is like, I mean, we were recording in the depths of COVID. Like, this was like, people didn't know what was going on. This was like, you know, remember like the apocalyptic type, you know, like everyone was in their house.
Yeah.
And it was
So
even
like
crazy to us. Like, Matt and his now wife Tiana flew to Richmond the week we recorded. Like, you guys stayed a little over a week. I forget how long you guys stayed, but it was even like kind of like, oh, that's crazy. Like, you're flying during COVID.
There was no one on the plane. There was like 3 people on the plane. It was crazy.
So, like, we fought a lot of adversity, you know, and it's funny, I had so many people telling me, and the industry talks, they're like, this year's a wash, like, you know, don't do anything, don't even release music, and we're just, again, fuck them all, you know, like, you guys can sit back and not release music, but, like, we're inspired, we're creative, and we're gonna release music no matter what, you know, like, despite this bullshit, you know, like, not that COVID's bullshit, I'm not calling it bullshit, but I'm just saying the whole that we're dealing with as a world, you know.
Yeah, it's just been a rough year.
So we had to even, you know, like, risk our own lives trying to go out and make this happen, you know. Many trips back and forth doing whatever we need to do.
Yeah.
Matt was a trooper, fucking legend. And yeah, it's been a transformative year. I think especially for you, like.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, and as we were starting to write this album, I mean, you were moving to Denver.
Yeah.
Like,
and we got engaged.
Yeah.
And married.
I know. Matt's had a crazy year, you know.
It's pretty wild.
And I think this album is just like, it needed to happen. This is honestly, like, you know, I know a lot of people are having a rough time with COVID, but we're very lucky to have started our own label, and we're releasing our own music. If we were signed to Hopeless still, we would not know what the hell to do, because we weren't even allowed to sell our own merch online. They owned all of our online retail rights. So bands right now that, you know, are signed to labels, they can't tour. That's their bread and butter. So we feel really bad for people that, you know, are stuck at home and aren't making their income. And luckily, we've just turned that into, we'll make our own income via our own record label and direct to consumer. We're right with our fans. We're right with you guys. So it's a really magical time, and we're kind of like in our stride. We're feeling like we're in the best part of our career, and I think this EP, man, Fuck Them All, is now the number 5 most played Dangerous Summer song, period. And it's moving up really quick. Never seen a response that good. Amazing playlisting. We got, Fuck Them All on the Rock This playlist, and we just been very lucky.
So I'm Alive is probably one of my favorite tracks on the record. The riff basically happened during the first few days that we were hanging out. I can't remember if it was the first day or the second day.
I think it was like the first, maybe the second day, yeah.
Yeah, and I really love the chords. I kept jamming it on the acoustic, AJ's acoustic in his living room too. And I think the more I played it, the more he started to get inspired by it. And the funny part is like the demo it almost sounds more like a Oasis kind of song or something. Yeah. It has a very 90s kind of alt pop like vibe.
Yeah, we should definitely release the demo.
We should, just so you guys can hear him. But once it took on like a whole different life once we did the acoustic in the studio. And I don't know, I really love the way that one turned out. It was Will's idea to be like, hey, just go and bang the shit out of this acoustic and play as hard as you can, as loud as you can, and kind of see where it went. And I didn't expect it to be so acoustic heavy. I thought it was going to be more of like our original demo, but the way it turned out gave it like some sort of like current feel too, which is really cool.
Exactly. Yeah. I love that song, and it's like the triumphant, really, just kind of. I always think it's cool, like there's so many tracks about hardship and everything, and I think this is like a simple track about like appreciation and loving where you're at. And I think it's a lot easier to write about grief and these things, when you're dealing with hardship. But like, if you ever take a moment in life, and we should all do this when you're happy, like think about that and rejoice in that and be happy. Hallelujah. We're living, we're breathing, like we're very fucking lucky, especially during this COVID-19 pandemic. Like, we, despite all this shit, I mean, like, look at this world, look at this world we have. Like, it shouldn't be this good, as humans, we're very fucking lucky. Like, we got TVs, we got internet, we got phones. Cell phones.
We can travel.
We can travel. It's funny, that's what we get to. We got internet, But interconnectivity, it's like, it's a magical world. And so I think sometimes you got to appreciate that. I shouted out a lot to, my time spent out in California and LA, and just, that's where my peace happens. Like, and when we were making the video, we said we had to go out to LA and cruise the PCH, cruise these places where, I mean, that's where the feeling comes from. Like, you just got, the windows down, or if you got a convertible, open up the convertible and let your hair go and just enjoy it. Just be at peace, be loving, So, we are the Dangerous Summer, and this is I'm Alive.
I woke up on Magnolia. Yeah, last night was a trip. I blow smoke from the windows in my car. This is my suburbia. This is where I live. I never thought that I'd take myself this far, but I guess that's nothing new. Drop down Mulholland, like time doesn't
Yeah, so Molly Water Music kind of was born out of like, hey, we just don't want to get in debt with these record labels anymore. And we were getting really fucking good offers, really tempting offers where people were basically like, here's a lot of money.
Yeah.
And you gotta like be weary when people hand you a lot of money. It's like, you're handing me this much money. It means you can make like double that.
Oh yeah,
you know?
they own you.
And they own you,
Yeah.
and so we were even getting deals where it's like they would give us like $15,000 in tour support every year, like crazy stuff. And it's just like we've been through it with Hopeless, and I think we just needed a breath of fresh air. We needed to do it on our own, and so I think the biggest challenge was building an infrastructure. I mean, going from a band, and I think bands right now should really think about these things. If you're signing to a label, even if you are on a label, no hate to labels, like if that's what you guys will help you guys and sign a label, but just be very weary of just create your infrastructure, even though you're on a label. Like I think for years we were kind of like, we're on Hopeless. They do everything, like and they have our merch store running. They have all this stuff, all these moving parts that you don't realize. Like I wish we would have paid attention earlier, is to like create these, I don't know, roots of, I don't know, everything, the bottom end of it.
The foundation. Yeah.
And so building the foundation took a fucking long time, and it took a lot of learning. It took a lot of practice. I don't know, man. That was crazy. Building the Shopify website, and we had to, I don't know, figure out everything around. We were about to go with a distro company, and then we bailed, and we were just like, let's try to do this ourselves, because I think what's crazy about, any industry where it's like when you're on a label or when you're working with, the more people you work with, there's so many more barriers. And when you send someone, you say, I want to accomplish this, it has to go through so many people just to happen. When it's like you start to realize in life, if you really want something, you got to do it yourself.
Totally.
Like you got to reach out and fucking just do it. People were slowing us down.
They were definitely slowing us down. And now we can do literally whatever we want. We have no fucking rules.
Yeah.
And so we can put out music whenever we want, put out videos when we want. So it's very freeing.
Yeah.
For sure.
And it's nice to just like not ask for permission. Like, even like the Autobar was like, hey, will you be on this compilation? Or like, have this track.
Yeah, go for it.
Like fucking, we own all of it. So like, take it, use it. Like, we're not the greedy people. We just want our music out in the world. Like, we're not even really doing this for money. We're doing this for something so much bigger than that. And money's just something we need to make on the way. We just need to make enough so that we can keep doing this for a living.
Yep.
But so it's like, we have all this freedom with our songs. We can throw them wherever. We can, if we want to release a song next week, we could do it. Like we can do whatever the fuck we want. With a label, and I think one of the craziest things and the most maddening things about being on a label was like release schedules. I mean, they have this idea of like, okay, well, you can't go into the studio this early. Like, you need to wait till this month, and like, and maybe your album should come out. And they always predict it so far away. They're like, your album should come out like next year, January. And just as a band, you're like, fuck. You're like,
I want to put it out now.
Yeah, like why can't we have the songs? Let's get in the studio now. But they have all these schedules, and we're actually very lucky. So like, we kind of started to get this idea in our head to do a release every year. I think we missed out a lot with this COVID, and this EP we missed out on the studio experience.
Yeah, for sure. It wasn't like a proper normal experience,
Yeah.
but it was cool. It still made it happen. It's our first time ever like working remote with a drummer and stuff like that. That was definitely
crazy.
Yeah. But really happy with how it turned out, and we're already starting to work on new demos and shit too.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
It's always creating.
Always creating,
Yeah.
We'll always have it in us, like, and that's the other thing with music in general. I think like every chapter is important, every song is important. Like I think I think we're on a journey of self-discovery ourselves, and we need to let it all out. I think that's part of our therapy as artists. I think that's part of our, you know, we need you guys to take it, you know, like we need to hand it off to you guys, and you know, some songs do better than others, but you know, these are our hearts, you know, like there is no wrong, you know, like I think that's what I think people judge music in a very strange way, you know. I think as long as you're being honest with yourself and you believe what you're saying and you care and you put your work in, you know, there's nothing wrong, you know, there's never a bad song. It's just some people like other songs better than others, you know. So we're on this long journey, this long epic journey of self-discovery. We're very lucky people. So it's LA in a cop car.
It's the first track, right, that we wrote during.
It is actually, yeah. So that actually came about before Matt came out to Richmond. There's a Cashmere Loop, so that little guitar loop. That's actually a splice loop, Cashmere. Shout out to the DJ Cashmere for helping us out with that song. Had that loop, and I just started writing to the loop, and then sent it to Matt, and Matt just like added a ton of shit, even drums. Like Matt wrote the drums to it, programmed them all out, and what do you use?
I use Superior Drummer to program it all out, and then added guitars and bass and stuff.
I think, like, you know, initially we were like, wow, this is very Kings of Leon. It needs one of those cocky drum beats, and you're like, I got it. You know?
I love that shit.
Like,
oh yeah,
like that. It's all about those like fucking kick hits and stuff, you know. Like this album in particular, we took a very new approach to music. I mean, when I was writing songs in LA, I got kind of introduced to this whole new world. I mean, this is how, you know, the pop and rap people are writing songs with these loops and everything, and just to have these tools at our disposal and all these programs that we got within the past year. I mean, we're kind of like really coming into our own, like, and we're kind of becoming our own producers in a lot of way. I think lyrically too, LA in a Cop Car, man, like it kind of has that recklessness. I think, you know, every time I go to LA, I get into a lot of trouble, you know, like I get into tons of fucking trouble, and
it's hard not to
there. It's hard not to there. And we've got some amazing friends, some amazing people over there, and it's kind of that recklessness. It kind of has the same feel to Way Down, where it's kind of like, you know, taking your hands off the steering wheel and kind of, you know, just reckless. Just sometimes you gotta let go and just kind of, you know, do that. And whether it kills you or not, you know, like whether it's good or bad, I mean, it just is what it is, you know. And I'm leaving LA in a cop car, man. Like that's the fantasy, you know. But I didn't actually leave LA in a cop car.
Yeah, luckily.
But we tried to. We really tried. I think listening to, like, especially like Black Bear in the past 2 years has really inspired me to be like just incredibly honest with my lyrics, and you got to be willing to be vulnerable. I mean, like these songs, like I'm talking about things that are very vulnerable and make me, you know, very open with, you know, the things I do, drug use and whatnot, and I gotta hurt myself in these songs. I gotta hurt everyone around me, and I think that's part of it. It's real, you know. This isn't, you know, the shaved down version. Like we're not writing for anyone else but ourselves.
Yep. And
we're just lucky to have you fans out there who actually care and listen. And I think over the years we just learned that realness prevails. Honesty is the best policy, man. So I got to be honest with myself, and this is my therapy. This is our therapy. This is how we deal with shit, you know. Like this is our art, you know. We put it all in there.
God, speak to me if you're out there. There's some drugs in my veins, I won't stop them if they're coming for me. I've lost myself in a dive bar. I miss my mom feeling sorry for me. And if this is how I learn to fly, how will I ever come down at all? Look down, it's your feet on the ground again. You're still walking, you're still awake, you're still walking, so walk away. You're still walking, so walk away. She speaks to me from the bathroom with 100 rolled up in her head. Looks like a puzzle to me. I'm leaving LA in a cop car. Yeah, I'll be screaming when they knock down the door. 'Cause I just wanna touch the sky. But will I ever come down at all? Look down, it's your feet on the ground again. You're still walking, you're still awake, you're still walking, so walk away. You're still walking, so walk away.
Alright, so yeah, music videos. We were like, let's start with Fuck Them All. That's clearly the #1 single, and it truly was. I mean, that song took fucking off, you know. And shout out to our boy Nick Marfine. When Matt was in Richmond, when we were recording, just did a Richmond video, and we tried to make it as Richmond as possible. Nick had a moped gang that he had been meaning to film stuff for, so he was like, we'll bring the moped gang out, they'll get a lot of footage, and we'll just chill. And it's just the ultimate Richmond experience.
Yeah, it's very real.
It was very incredible, very real, and yeah, that was a cool one. And then what was the next video we did?
So the next one we did was Come Down, and our boy Joe Perry.
Yeah, Joe Perry.
Not the guitar player in Aerosmith, but
that would be cool if he was.
Yeah. Joe Perry's he's kind of like this really, I mean,
he's an artist.
He is an artist. He's a true artist, like photographer first. He's really just starting to get into music videos, but man, there's just something about his eye and the way that, like, how much he cares about telling a story. And he shot the whole thing on 16mm film, which was super unique. It gave it a cool vibe to it. He used his cousin in the video. He used his neighbors.
Yeah, and I think his roommate's one of the actors in it. Yeah, and the neighbors, like, those girls are, like, apparently supermodels. Like, you know, they're just international supermodels. They're just like, hey, we'll be in the video. Fuck it, you know.
They had such a good chemistry together.
Yeah, I know.
And I think his cousin, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think his cousin had gone through kind of what was being portrayed in the in the video. He had gone through that personally, so you could see the pain, you know, kind of in his face and stuff. And it was almost like that in that video. No one really had to act.
Exactly.
Like, it seems so natural, and that's why we do that. That's why we pick these people to tell our stories, because we could be in videos all day and have performance videos, but that's, to us, that gets boring.
Yeah, exactly.
We like to create more like a
who
cinematic
wants to
experience.
see us? You know? I mean, like,
I don't even want to see us.
Yeah, I don't even want to see us. But like, that was just really cool. Was like, Joe Perry worked with us for years, photographer. I mean, he did his first touring with us, and then now he shoots for like Nike, Urban Outfitters. He's like a very renowned photographer and does a lot of crazy shit. So we caught him at a good time. And that's the thing with this COVID, man. Like, Joe Perry, he was available, you know, because everything shut down. The industry shut down. So he's like, hey, I'll just shoot this all myself, you know, and he shot it all on film, you know, and that was beautiful. Like, was it Super 8 or something like that?
16 millimeter film, I think so. It's like he pretty much spent the entire budget just on the film because it's a very pricey way to shoot, and it's very pricey to get it developed.
Exactly.
And like he's so good that, I mean, most of the shots are like point and shoot.
Yeah, exactly.
And he was like he was kind of shooting the video in his mind how he saw it play out. So very talented man.
Very incredible, yeah. So, and then on the next video we do with Chris Bloch, who used to tour with us forever, and he's like another video guy who blew up. I mean, he was about to be on tour with Marshmello before this COVID stuff happened. I mean, he works with gigantic artists now, you know, like he started out with us though. I mean, one of his first tours, or I guess he toured with Have Mercy a little bit beforehand. Yep. But he always just captured the world so great. I love his energy. I love his eye. He's got a very young mind. He knows kind of what people want, what people like. Yep. I miss his tour videos. But yeah, Chris Bloch, again, someone who was available because of COVID. We were very lucky. You know, the stars kind of aligned in these different ways, like kind of perfectly. And yeah, that was a fun video. And so on to track 5 on the album, which I think one of our favorite songs is Lie to Me. Yeah. And I think, man, it's funny because actually like kind of Ben sparked this one because he sent us just some weird stuff, but
it was like bongo parts. It was like da-da.
Yeah, he sent us that or like whatever the little bongo part is. Yeah. And he sent us like some music over, and we just deleted the music right away. Yeah. You know, we were like, okay, let's use this. There's like really a feel in here, you know, and that was a loop. Again, like these are splice loops coming from the internet. Yeah. So we had this bongo loop, and so we actually ended up adding another loop to it. So the piano loop fit really well. It's just so epic. Like we found this piano loop online.
Very classical.
Very classical, you know, like fucking this. And it has a lot of heart to it. Whoever's playing was very emotion filled in the piano. So it just was beautiful. And then we were ripping that night. I mean, we were tripping out, and Matt was hopping on guitar and just... I was like kind of in the hot seat, like just being like, "Go, Matt, go!" And like we were cheering each other on. Like literally, that was one of the songs where it was like it felt like we were just like in this tunnel.
Yeah, like what the hell is happening?
Like what the hell is happening? And Matt's just like coming up with these crazy parts, and we're just layering and layering, and like all of a sudden we have this like beautiful, like almost orchestral. Like we've kind of become like these composers where we're more like composing a track, and less. You know, like, I don't know, jamming them out. It's a very thought out process of writing the way we do it now. So,
and then we were able to get our friend Nate Sanders on violin on that track, and and I mean, what a talented dude. This guy is only like 24, I think, or something. He's like, you know, 6'3" or 4, like good looking dude, but he can literally play every single instrument on the planet.
It just went through so many transformations, and we built this giant track out of it, and then we started pulling pieces off, and it took us a really long time to be comfortable and happy with that song. So I don't know, it was a very interesting ordeal. It was taxing, man. Like when we got the first mix, we were just like, fuck.
Yeah, we ruined it.
Yeah, we ruined the song. Like the demo was so good.
Yeah.
So this is Lie to Me on Idobi Radio.
We still need time to repair it. Love is a burden we hold on till the end. We'll fall asleep like our parents. I wonder how many years until we're dead. Let's spend our summers in Paris. streets and then blackout on red wine. The joie de vivre in spirits. I wonder how many years until that dies. Lie to me. No, lie to me. Yeah, I still don't know, I'm careless. You dragged me out of a lonely state of mind. I'd never cut you on purpose. I'm just beginning to take hold of my life, but I'd lie to me. No, I'd lie to me. No, I'd lie to me. So I want you. So I want you.
Yeah, this is the one track, I mean, like, when I first started talking to Aaron, it just kind of came about, you know, it kind of happened. It was, we actually started writing together, so he sent me actually first, like, a really heavy song, and I'm like, I wrote to it as a screaming, like, there's actually, another song that we wrote, and, then this was, like, kind of the second song he sent me, and I was like, holy shit, like, this is fucking crazy. Like, very upbeat and very, like, and I think we never really have feels like that. That's what I love about Aaron, especially because he helped create this song, like, he had a very different approach where, like, almost like the other songs, we kind of had the song and we gave it to him and he wrote to it, but, like, for him to come out and be like, this is, like, a Dangerous Summer track, and he's always been really cool, and he was like, I love Warpaint, I love the Dangerous Summer, like, he was like, I always thought you guys, like, should have been bigger in the scene, blah, blah, and, so he was like, I just want to write music that's like you guys, and, like, I just want to, like, kind of write some songs, and if you dig it, you dig it, if you don't, you don't, so he sent this over to me, and when Aaron Gillespie sends you a song, I mean, you fucking write to it, of course. You know? And it was very exciting, and it kind of turned out really cool, you know, and just very different vibes, and I think it stands out on the record. And originally I did write a bridge to it, and then Aaron was like, I think I need to do this bridge, and I was like, fuck yeah, please do this bridge. And we didn't even know if it was going to be a Dangerous Summer song. It was kind of back and forth, it was talked about, and we were just like, the opportunity to have Aaron on a track and make this track come to life, we did whatever we could to lift it off the ground, and it's on the album, and it actually turned out to be the ending track, and I think it's a good way to finish off the album
for sure.
And lyrically, it's kind of like the themes of a lot of the album, where it's kind of like this reckless kind of life, reckless kind of world, and, you know, like, just to, you know, take a look around, you know. And I kind of had like like, it's one of the songs where, like, I kind of created this picture, and it's actually even just kind of like a fictional, like, I was thinking about, you know, like, when I'm out doing my thing, when I'm out in LA, and having a good time, like, you know, how everything's chill and I'm living life, but then to throw a wrench in it and create this idea of, like, you know, a car crash and create this idea of, like, everything, you know, going off the rails, and how, you know, like, painting this picture of what could happen or what, you know, will happen, you know, if you stay on a path like that for too long. So I think it was beautiful, you know. And I guess we'll say now, this has come along.
I've been drinking here since 3 in the afternoon. I'm alone, but I'm sitting with my friends all around me. And I'll crash on the floor if you let me come back too. There's a hole in my heart and I can't seem to feel it. There's a hole in my heart and I can't seem to feel it. Oh no. Oh, come along, we're back from being dead. What the hell am I doing here? What the hell am I doing here? Oh, come along, we're back from being dead. What the hell am I doing here? What the hell am I doing here? And we're smoking your car with the windows rolled down, yeah. I'm in love with the night 'cause she's breaking me apart. And the crash from the car felt like something new. When the glass broke, I saw everything. There was blood on the shirt that your brother gave you, and the lights came pouring in from red to blue. But I swear you look so beautiful. There's a pounding on your chest. Just wake up. Oh, come along, we're back from being dead. What the hell am I doing here? What the hell am I doing here? Oh, come along, we're back from being dead. What the hell am I doing here? What the hell am I doing here? Oh, come along, we're back from being dead. What the hell am I doing here? What the hell am I doing here? Oh, come along, we're back from being dead. What the hell am I doing here? What the hell am I doing here? I was hoping that you would let me stay. Hope is lost, it's too damn far away. Down in a hole, down in a hole, down in a hole. Oh, come along, we're back from being dead. What the hell am I doing here? What the hell am I doing here? Oh, come along, we're back from being dead. What the hell am I doing here? What the hell am I doing here? What the hell am I doing here? What the hell am I doing here?
All That Is Left of the Blue Sky came out on Friday, December 4th. It is available everywhere. And please check us out, tdsmerch.com. And Matt actually has the whole warehouse here in Denver.
Yep.
We run our own merch store. We sell it all ourselves. this is the beauty of not having a label. Any money from our fans goes directly to us, especially during these times of COVID-19 when we can't tour. This is very important to us, so please check it out. You can get the vinyl. There's only about like 30 or 40 left right now. So
it's almost sold out.
So they're almost sold out. So grab a vinyl before they're gone. We will do a repressing soon. It's just so nice to connect with you guys with new music. This is our whole heart. This is what we love. This is what we believe in. So please support. Come join the conversation. Come hang out with us. And we're the Dangerous Summer.